Hi everyone, this is Imran from Gaming Till Disconnected, and this is a review of the MSI GT70 2OC gaming laptop. The MSI GT70 sports a 4th generation Intel Core i7 processor with a clock speed of 2.4 GHz, turbo to 3.4, a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 770M graphics card, 8GB of DDR3 memory, a 17.3-inch high-definition anti-glare LCD panel, a full-size keyboard, and a fantastic set of speakers running Windows 8.1. On the right side of the laptop there are 2 standard USB ports and a DVD drive, so you can still make use of your DVD collection and any disc-based games. On the other side there are 3 USB 3.0 ports, an SD card slot, and audio jacks for headphones, mic, line in and line out. However, I found the headphone jack to be a bit small, but that's not a problem as you can use a line out to connect your headphones. Measuring at a length of 42.8cm from side to side, a width of 28.8cm from top to bottom, and a height of 5.5cm at its most widest, and 4cm at its most slimmest point, giving the GT70 a wedge shape. With a weight of 3.9 kilos, this isn't the lightest or the smallest gaming laptop available, but that doesn't mean that you'll throw your back out if you decide to use it on your lap or carry it. The GT70 may not be as sleek as other gaming laptops, but to be honest I like the rugged exterior, and the brushed aluminium on the top platen gives it an industrious look. On the top platen you'll also find a mirror finish MSI logo, which lights up when the laptop is powered. This is a nice touch, and it's not too bright that it might irritate someone should they be sitting in front of you. At the back you'll find a power connection, Ethernet port, VGA, HDMI and mini display port, allowing you to connect up to 3 external displays. Speaking of display, once you lift the top platen to open the GT70, you'll notice a stunning 17.3-inch high-definition anti-glare screen, and I must say everything looks beautiful, provided it's meant to be displayed at a high resolution. Admittedly, low-resolution images and videos don't look as sexy on this screen, but you can always change the screen resolution to fix these issues. Just above the screen there's a webcam and microphone. These two aren't anything to shout about on their own, but it's enough to get you started with Skype or Google Hangouts, although you'll most likely want to get a better mic, as the pre-installed mic can be a bit quiet. Under the display panel are 2 Dyne audio speakers, located at the top corners, with a subwoofer located on the underside of the laptop, just off center at the top left end if you flip the GT70. This has a clearance of a few millimeters, so sound isn't muffled. While my expectations of laptop speakers have never been too high, the Dyne audio speakers on the MSI GT70 are actually really good, and will rival that of medium-range desktop speakers. And with the added bass from the subwoofer, the sound that's produced is loud and won't be drowned out by ambient noise, as I've found with other laptops. The full-size keyboard is made by SteelSeries, as identified by a label on the bottom left-hand corner. It features chiclet keys and sits at an angle about 5 degrees towards you, which is great as your hands don't feel strained after extended use. There are also a few handy media and system control keys, which can be accessed via the function button. You'll also be grateful that the Windows key has been relocated on the right side of the spacebar, so to stop those annoying accidental presses when you're in game, which is always handy. The GT70 also has a coloured backlit keyboard, split into 3 zones, a great feature if you're a sucker for coloured lights, or you like to work and play in the dark. This is even more handy as each zone can be turned off independently, so if you are playing in the dark, you can have only one zone turned on and the remaining off so not to distract you. The backlighting is controlled by the keyboard LED Manager app. It's quite basic, but the benefit is it's quite easy to use and pick up. However basic it might be, it still gives you enough customization options to make the keyboard your own. You also have the choice to set up the keyboard in one of the 6 pre-configured options: Dual Color, which alternates the backlighting between 2 specified colors; Wave, which turns on one zone at a time; Breathing, which gradually turns the LEDs on and off; Audio, which turns the LEDs on and off to react to any audio being played on the laptop. This is both awesome and at the same time in no way practical, but it's still fun watching the keyboard go crazy. Gaming, which turns the right hand and the middle zone off, leaving only the left hand zone on. And finally Normal. This just turns the LED on in the specified color or colors, and there's nothing too special. There's also a hotkey on the left hand side of the power button to alternate the backlighting between off, normal and gaming. Along with the backlight hotkey, there is also 5 more hotkeys. These turn the display on and off, turn aeroplane mode on and off, bring up the system control manager, and turn the cooling fan on and off. The trackpad sits below the spacebar and is a fairly decent size, and well placed so not to get in the way of your palms. The only downside to the trackpad is it's not the easiest for gaming, especially on shooters, so having a mouse handy is a wise idea, but for day-to-day use the trackpad is going to work just fine. You'll also notice a button just below the left of the spacebar. This toggles the trackpad on and off. I noticed the MSI GT70 automatically turned the trackpad off when it detected a mouse being plugged in. At least it did with the Logitech G700S, but you still have the option to turn the trackpad back on, should you desire. For your storage needs, the GT70 is equipped with a 120GB SSD, where the OS is pre-installed, with an additional 1TB HDD. After the 20GB required for Windows 8 and other system programs, you're left with about 97GB on the SSD, which may not sound like much these days, but is plenty of space for a handful of your favourite games and your most demanding programs. Thanks to the SSD, the MSI GT70 actually loads pretty quickly. From pressing the power button to the login screen, it takes about 10 to 11 seconds. And I'm sure there are those who are crying out that that's not fast at all, but may I remind you of a few short years ago, when you would have had to wait for a hell of a lot longer. I installed the usual array of games, Battlefield 4, Call of Duty, Crysis 3, to see how the GT70 performs, and the GT70 didn't disappoint. With the single player mode in Battlefield 4 set to low and medium, the laptop didn't struggle at all. In fact, it ran really smoothly. It's only when I started to delve into the high and ultra settings that the laptop started to struggle, maybe not so much with the high setting, as I was getting about 40 to 50 frames a second with the occasional frame rate issue. On ultra setting, I was getting about 20 to 30 frames a second. It wasn't completely unplayable, but the frame drops and the lagging was a hell of a lot more frequent and noticeable. With Crysis 3, the laptop had no issues running it, even on high and ultra settings. With the ultra setting, I did notice some frame drops here and there, but if you're not looking out for it, it's not going to ruin your experience. By now you may be asking how hot it gets, especially when you're gaming. I can honestly say I hardly noticed it getting hot, but on the few occasions I did, I just turned the cooling fan on, and it cooled down in no time. The downside to the cooling fan is it does get a bit loud, but if you wear a pair of headphones you won't even notice it being on. Being a laptop, you may want to take it with you when you're out and about. With the 9-cell battery, I got about 3 to 4 hours of average use. For gaming, the battery life varies depending on what games you're playing. Basically, the more intensive the game, the quicker the battery drains. At least that's what I found. With Battlefield 4 and Crysis 3, I managed to get a good 2 solid hours out of it, which really isn't too bad. But obviously the solution at this stage is to plug it into the mains. The power cable is actually an adequate length, however you'll notice that the power brick is actually quite large, but I can forgive it as the GT70 requires 180 watts to run it. I've been using the GT70 non-stop for everything, from gaming, editing videos, watching films to simple word processing, and I'm genuinely impressed. It may not be the prettiest, the slimmest, or even the lightest laptop available, but don't let that fool you. The GT70 packs a punch, and it can pretty much handle anything you can throw at it. At the price of $1,200, the MSI GT70 isn't going to be for everyone, but if you're looking for something to play games in one nice relatively small package, then the MSI GT70 may be for you. Thanks for watching our review. If you liked it, then please give the video a like, it really helps us out, and subscribe to Gaming Till Disconnected for more tech reviews. You can also read the full written review at Gaming Till Disconnected, the link's in the description. If you do want to get the MSI GT70 2OC, then please use the Amazon link below. It helps us stay independent and make more reviews. Thanks once again, and have a great day.